Get out and look. Goal. When do you get out and look? Number one, when you pre-trip and when you post-trip. It's very important to make sure that you get out of your truck and you look at what you're doing when you're pre-tripping and when you're post-tripping your truck. Unfortunately, yes, I have to say that because, quite honestly, it's not always done properly. A lot of times, the drivers will do the same thing they did the day before. If they, said, the night before that everything was fine on their truck, they come in the next morning and they'll do everything's fine. And then they take off on the road and they realize that it's not fine. They got a flat tire or something. Now, if they do their pre-trips and their post-trips properly, they can catch problems properly, before you run into a bigger problem. Now, tires are the biggest issue. Sometimes I understand. You get a flat tire in the morning, you gotta fix it. But a lot of times, that tire was probably already flat the night before. It could have been catched the night before. It could have been fixed the night before. But sometimes, since we didn't call it in, now we have to worry about it the next day and lose actual working hours. When we could have probably done it at night when there was nobody working and saved 2 or 3 hours of trying to fix a flat tire throughout the business day. It could have been done at night when nobody's working. So yeah, get out and look on your pre-trips and your post-trips. Also, when you're hooking up or unhooking to a trailer, a chassis, a dry van, a flatbed, whatever, just because you hear it latched does not mean that it's fully latched. Sometimes it's honestly not even that it closed all the way. Sometimes it just closes halfway. What I mean by that is the fifth wheel has that lock. Sometimes it doesn't close all the way and latches to the kingpin, so it just goes halfway. And then when you take off straight and make a left, the container goes to the right because it's not hooked up properly. So get out and look when you're unhooking and hooking up the trailers. Please. I say that for a reason. I wouldn't be saying that if I didn't think it was necessary. All right. When else is it great for you to get out and look? When reversing or backing up to a location or anywhere. If you're going to be reversing, there's probably cars on the side of the street. Be careful with that. If you're going to be reversing into a warehouse, you probably have pallets on the side. Maybe you have, chocks on the bottom that they didn't take out. Wood, nails, seals. Get out of your truck. Look at your surroundings. Yes, some things are the facility's responsibility. They have to look for that. But the majority of the times, the driver has to get out of his truck and look at to make sure that where he's going is an okay place for him to park, to back up, to do whatever he has to do business-wise. A lot of times we have our own warehouse. Believe it or not, drivers do not get out of their trucks and they do not look. They want us to do it for them. That's not our job. Their job is their job. Our job is our job. So we do the best we can to help people, but we're not going to do their job for them either. We'll get drivers that'll come all the way to our warehouse and they'll stay in their truck. They'll stay inside their truck. And they'll be like, hey, how come I'm not done yet? Or how come you haven't gotten to me yet? I'm like, well, you haven't checked in. Well, you saw me. I've been outside. Yeah, well, you got to get out of your truck and go check in. Same thing as whenever you go to the dock, you got to get out of your dock. Make sure that dock plates put on. Make sure that you have your chocks put on. Make sure that whatever is needed from that warehouse, you have done. So when you're going to be reversing to a location, when you're going to be backing up to a location, look at your surroundings. Make sure that there's nobody parked there. Make sure that there's nobody standing there. It's very important, man. This right here will save you a lot of time and money. I promise you that. It goes a long way. But I have to talk about it because I have to talk about it. Also, there's a lot more that goes to this, but I'm just briefly touching on these. This one here. when getting loaded or unloaded at a facility, at a warehouse, at a port, at a railroad, at a container yard, make sure that you get out and look. We had a situation a few weeks ago or a month and a half ago to where there was a truck driver that took off while our forklift driver was still loading him. Yes, things happen. Unfortunately, or actually no, fortunately, it didn't get worse. It wasn't any worse than what it already was. We can replace the forklift, we can replace the product, but we cannot replace a human being. We can't replace an arm, we can't replace a leg, we can't replace a finger, we can't replace an ear. So those are the things that really truthfully matter. A salary, a paycheck, an income, that can get replaced. Believe it or not, that can't get replaced. You can make up for that. But you can't bring somebody back. You can't put somebody's arm back in place. So drivers, get out and look. Get out of your truck and look at your surroundings. Stop being lazy. Seriously. Not everybody. There's a lot of very good, knowledgeable, working drivers out there. To the ones who are not, get out and look. I can't stress that enough. You will harm somebody if you do not do this. Something will happen if you do not do this. With your own truck, with your own trailer, with the cargo. I mean, how much is your license worth? Because apparently all that drivers worry about is a driver's license and their points. But they don't worry about when they're unhooking or hooking and making sure that they're latching on properly, or that nobody's still inside the container or inside the trailer loading them or unloading them. Flatbed drivers, if you're getting unloaded or if you're getting loaded, get out of the way for a bit while they load you, especially if you're going to be throwing straps. I've seen it to where sometimes the driver will throw a strap and there's somebody on the other side and the strap hits the person on the head. Look at your surroundings. I know people get impatient and you want to hurry up and do your next load, but it's not worth hurting yourself or the public for $300, for $800. That's the average that you're gonna make $1,000 on a load. So, is it really worth not getting out of your truck and looking? Just think about that for a second. You'll go a long way. You'll do a lot better if you just use this simple step. But thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. And we're here to help.